Hi, hello, and welcome back to F1 Challenge Career Mode. My name is Mephisto, and today we're heading off to Brazil for round 3 of the 2002 Formula 1 season. Let's get started.
Located within the southern suburbs of Sao Paulo, the bumpy Interlagos circuit consists of two very distinct sections. The first outer section combines two very long straights with fast-sweeping turns, whilst the technical infield contains some very slow corners that demand absolute precision and leave no room for driver error.
As usual, we jump straight into qualifying. This is the first flying lap, and I had a pretty good pace, especially through Sector 1. Anyway, we crossed the line in 1:16.197. Now let's try and beat that. Coming around for a second attempt, again I was fastest through Sector 1. Sector 2 was decent, and the lap time was a 1:15.284, 9 tenths faster than our first try. With 15 minutes left in the session, I went out for a third try. This time I was matching my sector times, but as we cross the line we get a 1:15.259. That's about 2 hundredths of a second faster.
Hello there. Welcome to Brazil for round 3 of the 2002 FIA Formula One World Championship. The weather, as so often is the case here, is just wonderful. Michael Schumacher consistently outpaced his championship rival, the Renault driver. Kimi Raikkonen, second. Juan Pablo Montoya, third. David Coulthard, fourth. Jenson Button looked a carbon copy of his teammate. He starts alongside in fifth. The Renault driver performed brilliantly in qualifying to line up sixth. Schumacher, seventh. Nick Heidfeld, eighth. Barrichello, ninth. Villeneuve, 10th. Fisichella, 11th. Irvine, 12th. Webber, 13th. Frentzen, 14th. Massa, 15th. Mika Salo, 16th. Sato, 17th. Olivier Panis, 18th. Pedro de la Rosa, 19th. Bernaldi, 20th. McNeish, 21st. Alex Young, 22nd.
And now, here we are on the grid. We are in 6th, our teammate is 5th, we have David Coulthard right in front of us, and Nick Heidfeld right behind. 5 red lights and we're off. Sort of a mediocre start on my part, but there's already an incident. This is the third race in a row to produce incidents at the start. And look at that, Button had a great start it seems, because he is now in 3rd, and we're about to move into 5th as we pass David Coulthard. Next is Kimi Raikkonen. Let's see if we can overtake him as well through the left-hander at the end of this back straight. No, it seems that in fact Coulthard outbreaks us and takes 5th from us. Okay, so now let's try and keep up with him. He brakes a bit early and we move back into 5th, and I nearly lose the car through there. Anyway, let's see some replays. First we have the start itself. At first it seems that everyone gets away cleanly, but then we see some wings flying in the back, and I was almost overtaken by Heidfeld. I'm not really sure why we are having these incidents at the start of the race. It's weird because we didn't have them last season. Not this frequently anyway. And we're now riding with Takuma Sato. The lights are out, Massa taps the rear of the Minardi in front of him, then Salo hits Massa from behind, breaking the rear wing of the Sauber. That's actually the second time Massa and Webber had an incident. We had one at the start of the Malaysian Grand Prix as well. So we are now coming around to finish lap 1 of the Brazilian Grand Prix, 24 more to go. I have a look on the outside of Raikkonen, but I wasn't really prepared to overtake. So I backed out of the maneuver, but now as the cars settle into a rhythm, it's time to start thinking about gaining some positions. We are now coming around to finish lap 2, and it looks like I will be overtaking Raikkonen. And Ralf Schumacher as well. That's a nice double overtake for an area where overtaking is not so common. You'd usually see passes being made through turn 1. but not on the straight leading up to it. So now let's see if we can catch up to our teammate and maybe go for an overtake, as Fisichella is having problems with his car. And here we have Fisichella in the Jordan, he's behind my former teammate Eddie Irvine, and in front of Frentzen. His car bursts into flames and that is it for his race. Meanwhile, I've caught up to Jensen and I'm thinking about overtaking him as soon as possible. And after that we will have to deal with Montoya and Michael Schumacher. And we're now coming around to finish lap 4. We have a great run on Button, Engineer warning us about waved yellows, but we're now in P3 and next up is Juan Pablo Montoya. He's around 1.3 seconds ahead, so we need to try and catch up. And we just saw the Jordan of Fisichella, and all of a sudden Montoya is really slow. I passed him without too much of an effort. I think he slowed down because of the waved yellows, but kept the car in a high gear, which is something the AI sometimes does unfortunately. But by the start of the next lap, he outbrakes me into turn 1 and so I'm now back down in 3rd place. Let's try and stay focused here. He might make another mistake. We're now coming around to finish lap 6 as Enrique Bernoldi is having problems with his suspension. I catch up to Montoya quite a bit through turn 1, however he gets a better exit and starts pulling a gap again. I really need to push a little harder. Here we have the arrows of Enrique Bernoldi as he's coming through the left-hander at the top of the hill, then into the slow left-hander and stops the car right on the racing line. There's no way that can go wrong. Anyway, we're still chasing after Montoya and Schumacher, and with the stricken arrows of Enrique Bernoldi on the track, I think I will be able to get a bit closer to them. And indeed we do get closer. Let's hope that we can stay on them and that they make a mistake of some kind. Coming around to start whatever lap this is, I closed in the gap further on Montoya. I dive bomb him through turn 1, unfortunately I was carrying so much speed that I went really wide, and so Montoya gets to keep his 2nd place. We need to overtake him now because I will soon need to pit. And as we're coming around to finish the lap, I was finally able to overtake Montoya and I hit the wall on the right there. That actually damaged the suspension a bit. I don't know if you'll be able to see it in the video, but the wheel was a bit crooked. And we also set the fastest lap of the race. Wasn't expecting that. At the end of lap 13, I had to come in for my stop. Let's hope it goes smoothly and that we rejoin in a decent position. The good thing is that we are the first ones to pit. I had a pretty good in lap. If I can also have a good out lap, we might be in a very strong position to overtake both Montoya and Schumacher. The stop is a bit on the slow side though, but that's to be expected. I took on nearly 120 liters of fuel, and I can hear some car coming into turn 1. Let's see if we can rejoin the track ahead of them. It looks like we might. Right behind me now is Eddie Irvine, and it seems that he had a horrible line through the Senna S because I've already pulled a gap of around 2 seconds on him. We are now coming around to finish lap 15, and we got ahead both Montoya and Michael Schumacher, who pitted at the end of lap 14. So if everything goes well, by the time everyone has pitted, we should be in the lead of the Brazilian Grand Prix. That would be so amazing. After all the struggles of the last race, I'm really looking forward to winning this. Oh, Raikkonen was in the pits and we take 1st place. We are now in the lead of the Brazilian Grand Prix. Amazing. We are on lap 22, not far from the checkered flag now, and that was one of the Saubers there, so let's see what happened because our engineer slash spotter hasn't said a word. That's weird since nothing else really happened. And here we have the Sauber of Nick Heidfeld. He is chasing after Ralf Schumacher. They come from the fast left-hander at the top of the hill, and it seems to me that Heidfeld might be having some brake issues. Regrettable for him so close to the end. But we are still pretty much in the race, and at some point Montoya overtook Michael Schumacher. What's more, they've caught up to me, and they are really pushing me hard. So let's stay focused. We've just started our final lap, and I have to say Montoya was really pushing me throughout the final few laps. But all I have to do now is keep it together, and the win will be ours. And I just threw everything away on the final lap. There's absolutely no way I can get back 2 places. What a disappointment. I will try, but I'm not very hopeful. And here we are, coming around to finish the race. As expected, I was unable to keep up to Montoya and Schumacher, so we will finish 3rd. I'm actually quite disgusted with myself, but I waved to the team anyway. I can't believe I threw it all away on the final lap. We had everything under control, we were sure to win, then I had to mess up everything by taking too much of the curve through that left-hander. I'm really disappointed, even though we still finished on a podium position. Third place is not the same as first. And we were looking so strong in the race, especially during the second half. I'm beginning to think that maybe we are not meant to win a championship. This is quite discouraging, really. Anyway, let's take a look at the standings.
At the end of an amazing Brazilian Grand Prix, here are the final results. Montoya first. Michael Schumacher second. The Renault driver third. Jenson Button fourth. Coulthard fifth. Raikkonen sixth. With the results confirmed, it's high time we updated the Drivers' Championship.
So, Michael Schumacher and Montoya are tied in first place with 20 points. We are currently in second with 17 points. Teammate Button is in third with 10 points. Ralf Schumacher and Kimi Raikkonen share fourth with 3 points. Coulthard and Irvine share fifth with 2 points. And Heidfeld is sixth with 1 point.
Renault stay ahead in the Constructors' Championship, despite having their lead reduced by this result. Williams are second, followed by the third-place Ferrari.
Our team is still in the lead of the Constructors' Championship with 27 points. Williams are second with 23 points. Ferrari are third with 20 points. McLaren are fourth with 5 points. Fifth are Jaguar with 2 points. And Sauber are sixth with 1 point. Second race in a row that we could have won but didn't for one reason or another. Last time it was a combination of coming together with Coulthard and then crashing into the wall. This time it was because I took a bad line through a corner. I really hope that our luck will change. I would really like to win the championship for once. The car is more than capable of winning races. It is just a matter of whether the driver is capable or not. Next race of the season is the San Marino Grand Prix at the Circuit Enzo Edino Ferrari, a track which I really love. It is a high-speed track with a very nice flow of corners in my opinion. Anyway, until next time, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you all so much for watching, and as always, stay sharp.